Hello everyone, especially the city of Perm, because today we will apply an individual paint. On the request of the client to the city of Perm, sample for Valentina, we will apply, I do not know if it can be called an imitation of a stone, but let's try to call it that. We picked up the plaster loft. We thought that it would be the most suitable in this case and we will apply it. A plastered wall primed can be primed to even out the color. Because the plaster will not be applied in a thick layer, I'll show you a little closer now. You will see the layer as thin as possible just to cover the surface of the wall. Apply with a trowel or spatula. Apply to the trowel and apply a thin layer. Look, a thin layer. You see, it shines through here, so we make the layer a little thicker so that it does not shine through. Therefore, just a primer will come in handy for you. There will be a layer of about 1/2 millimeter. I will purposely apply in small areas as you will be doing it on the wall. We applied such a layer. Then we take a decorative brush. If there is no brush, then it can be a hard brush, some old one. Or it can be a rubber mat with such rough edges. You can also moisten the brush with water if it is convenient. You can adjust for yourself whether it is necessary to wet it so that the plaster does not stick to it, and with such movements we tamp the holes diagonally. This was exactly the sample. We were sent a photo and therefore we selected the material and selected the colors. Then we apply the next section and connect it while it is damp. We also look so that the wall does not shine through. When you apply an even layer, you do not need to form some kind of pattern, but it is advisable not to leave any extra sagging too. We take the brush again and tamp the next section again. We apply the next section in a checkerboard pattern. Continue this padding. Padding can be made narrower or wider by turning the brush in this way. The next section, Continue the next section in a checkerboard pattern, that is, if you applied about 1 meter by meter on the wall tamped, the next neighboring section was applied, tamped, then we go down. Because here it can already dry out, you don't need to give it dry. Apply and connect. Pay attention to the corners. If you want to make all the walls, then apply them parallel to each other. In order not to stain the adjacent wall, you can glue it with tape. We continue the parallel wall. This corner is also glued with tape and make it entirely. Remove the tape so that the corner is even. But not everyone does it and it is not always good, not always convenient. Look. You did here and continue. The plaster is damp and continue tamping the next section. Look, we add little, you see, not enough. If you think this is normal, then leave it, and if you think that it is not enough, then you can immediately add. While the plaster is still wet, it can be adjusted for about 20 minutes. Tampa. You also regulate this distance for yourself. You can make it wider. You can already make the distance. You can even dump the entire wall with such holes. What is good about loft in this case? It is not grainy. You see it when it is. It is elastic. textured, but at the same time it can be applied in a layer thinner and thicker. You can make it smooth, there are no grains in it, it is very convenient for this application. By the way, for those who have not worked with us yet, you can purchase materials from us, and we will select the color for you in the same way. Send it to any region. Arrange delivery and shoot you an individual video lesson, if there is no such lesson on our channel yet. If you want the lines wider, then make them wider, and tamp the adjacent line in the same way. After that we have to let loft dry out. When the plaster becomes a dull, you will need to return to it. You will apply about 4 areas: applied 1, the second applied, the third applied, and the fourth. Well, let's apply the 5th one, then come back and we will smooth it. We have a small sample, so we will smooth it a little later. Wait for it to dry a little. You just saw that the material dries up, it has ceased to shine. When it shines, it means there is moisture in it. Now you see from the side that the material no longer has so much moisture, but it is not completely dry yet. If we touch it, it still squeezes. Look, you see a sharp little edge. This is the state we need. We take a clean trowel, and we can also keep a damp cloth with us, with which we will periodically wipe the trowel. We smooth the top with a clean trowel. These sharp edges, look, it was sharp, it became smooth. Smoothing, squeezing. We wipe the trowel so that the plaster does not stick to it and the drawing does not deform on a large wall. You cannot apply the entire wall with decorative plaster, stamp, and then return to smooth. You will need to smooth after a few patches. Applied, 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 returned, smoothed. Then we continue applying. Came back, smoothed it. That's how we smooth it. Here it is still damp, it can be seen, but we will smooth it out anyway. But these holes remain with us, then we will fill them with tinted wax. We do not press strongly, only slightly touched and pulled with a plane. Where your plaster has dried more, it will be more difficult to smooth it. But at worst it will always be possible to sand it dry. If you missed it somewhere completely, if you missed this moment and you did not have time to smooth it and it has already dried up, then you can clean the sharp edges with the end of the trowel, or after drying, sand it so that it does not scratch. Smoothed and leave to dry completely until tomorrow, until completely dry. The plaster is completely dry. Look how smooth it is. We didn't sand it, we smoothed it with a damp trowel. Like this, and that's it. Next we take it into a sponge. As usual we moisten a sponge with water so that it does not absorb a lot of wax. The wax is tinted warm gray. We dip the sponge and cover it. In this way we go into the depth of the texture, and in these pores we must completely fill it with wax. Cover with wax, fill the pores. Well, we try to apply in the direction of the drawing if we have such a diagonal padding. We patted it diagonally with a stiff brush, then we also try to cover the wax diagonally. It is in gray that the client likes it. A photograph was sent to us and we are trying to simulate the application using this photograph. Today we have not attached the photo, have not printed, have not prepared. But I think that the result should be pleasant and everything should work out. We make sure that there are no spaces, empty spaces. Everything should be painted over, especially inside, in the pores. Covered, and then we can lighten a little more edges, these tops. If you look closer, you can see that we remove the excess with the back of the sponge, with the clean side of the sponge. And in some places it remains lighter, in some places it remains darker. In the pores the wax will not go anywhere, it will be a bright dark color there. We remove the surplus from the tops. Do not leave voids, you do not need completely uncovered areas. You can also, if you want to whiten even more, then you can moisten the sponge again with water and remove the excess. Now I will show you how to do it. Although, you can use a trowel. Let's try with a trowel. Take a trowel and remove the remains with the butt end. I think that let's leave it that way. The effect is good, but if you want it to be even darker in places, then cover it with wax. A second layer can be added. If you want a darker strip, you wax to adjust the color saturation. Like it. For this we work here and apply it all every day. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and order materials from us. We are also working for this. We will shoot an individual video lesson for you, if such a video is not yet on our channel. We will help you with the choice of flowers and arrange delivery for you. If you need, we will complete both. Tools and all related products, all you need. We are here for you. Bye everyone.